Are you ready? What should we build?
Whatever this is.
Okay. What do you think this is? Anybody? Any guesses? Put it in the comments. We'll see what it is. We'll see what we're going to build here. Sometimes I don't even know what we're building until I look at the pieces. We got some pals. And we have this thing right here. And some Velcro. So let's start with the Velcro here. Let's see. We have a stencil out there that I laid over this to make all these marks, but we'll see here. Let's get rid of this. Let's do some elimination here. I'm going to sew this piece here. A lot of the stuff we build would take, it just takes a long time to build, much longer than these builds take. So you would end up with a video that has a ton cut out of it, or you would end up with a video that's 5-6 hours long. So we're just kind of hitting the easy type stuff right now to start with. We might do some longer builds and bust them into a couple different videos, but most of those would just be this machine running. That sounds like a lighter hitting the ground. I'll be looking for that shortly. By shortly, I mean like right now. It does feel hot, huh?
Pretty hot.
If I turn that air on, will it mess up the cam? Will you hear it? Alright, so I'm going to throw some pals on here. For guys starting out, this is kind of a mystery to a lot of dudes, but it's really not a big deal. You can start in the center. There's all kinds of ways that you can do yours. I typically just start from this side here. I'm gonna tack it in right there 3 times. I'm gonna take my next piece and I'm gonna use this spacer right here. And I'm just gonna hold that between them and I'm gonna push this kind of gently up against it. Travel. 1, 2, 3. And when I back tack and I travel across and then 1, 2, 3, I don't want to sew my back tacks and travel into the single layer of Cordura here because it pulls it up. It'll pucker it. And really on the side you could just do a single stitch because we're going to sew this together, the seams together, and it'll put more thread in there. But this hydro carrier is just a single layer of Cordura. It's 500. You can use 1000 if that's what you got or that's what you want to build your stuff out of. We used to double layer these things. We double layered them 1000, and then years later we were doing them out of 500, which is what we still use, and we would double layer those. But the material's strong. Like if you trust the material, we're not buying material out of Pakistan and shit, so the material's good, right? So there's no need to double this up. Guys aren't putting a hooligan tool or baby sledge or bolt cutters in these things. If they were, we could definitely double them up, but for a hydration carrier, it doesn't need to be double layered. And typically anything where I was sewing PALs, I would always double it up, and it just doesn't need it. We've been doing everything single layer like this for a decade now, and we've never had one of these things come in for warranty or anything, so it's just not necessary. Now, when you're learning to do this, a lot of times it's easier to double layer things and sew them together first, 2 layers, and then put all your parts on, because it keeps it from puckering up as much. It'll keep it kind of from, you know, getting out of shape. But it all adds up. It weighs a lot more. And you'll get the where you can control that back tack, 1, 2, 3, right? And if you can't, if you're overshooting it or whatever, make your stitches a little smaller until that thing falls right where you need it to. And it'll just make it, you know, nice and clean. Just like that. I think that's the appeal to a lot of guys when they're starting out, little dudes, little like small companies is what I mean. When you're learning how to build gear like this, people are really scared of the MOLLE. They can't get it, you know, it has waves in it, or they can't get their spacing perfect. So they want to hurry up and buy a laser cutter so that they can use laminate and do this right here. Well, really, so they don't have to do this right here. But if you just learn how to do this, it's really easy. It's only difficult to the guy that it's a mystery to.
Did you just one day start using that as a spacer?
Always have, always used it as a spacer. The spec on PALS webbing, MOLLE webbing, right? This is the PALS, the horizontal piece, and the spec is 1.5 inch width and 1 inch spacing. And this webbing is 1 inch, so if you just use this as your gauge, it works perfectly. Plus, if you get good at doing this and you build gear and you build a name for yourself, you'll have guys that'll buy this, like, you know, as lifestyle gear. It just looks fucking awesome, and you can have the contrasting colors, right? And people a lot of times pay money for the way things look. Now you can turn and sew the other direction. Typically when you see gear that looks real wavy though, it's because they sewed it in 2 different directions. So, and a lot of times guys too will go tack the center, tack the edges, skip one, and then, you know, go back and forth. But you'll get to the point where you don't have to do all of that. But you'll never get to the point if you don't do it.
Speaking of lifestyle gear, what's in your shirt?
OnlyFans, only cocks, only Glocks, only Glocks. This is the new shirt. Came out today, actually. I don't even know if it's on the website. They were just delivered today. I think there's 200 pieces or so of it. And it looks like OnlyFans, but it says only Glocks, because Jeff's favorite gun is a Glock. If you're watching this, you might not even know what that's all about. We have a podcast, Pulling the Thread podcast. Scully and I did 126 episodes, 5 days a week, and then we stopped. And every week, people were like, you should bring back Pulling the Thread. Well, we have. We brought it back. We're on episode, 16?
16 today.
We recorded 16 today, 3 hours of podcast content, just Scully and I talking about all kinds of different things, as we've known each other for 30 plus years. Scully was the NCOIC Scout Sniper School, Marine Scout Sniper, multiple deployments, different combat deployments, and just watched the Marine Corps change over the years. Now he lives out here near us and farms, and just we do the things we want to do now. So we come together once a week and do a podcast. It's private. It only costs $1. You can see it. It's at this YouTube page that you're watching right now. There's a little button over there that says membership somewhere there. If you click it, it costs $1 per month. It's $1. And we have over 10 hours of content. Pulling the Thread podcast that Jeff and I do. Amanda and I do a question and answer. You have to be at the second membership level to ask questions and for us to interact. But you can view it all for $1. And we, as a joke, did a relationship advice podcast, which I didn't think would really go anywhere, but people seem to actually like that. And her and I have been together, off and on 25 years, I guess. But solidly for 16 years. So we have a little history and we know how to make things work. And I've run a business for 35 years, so I know a little bit about that. I've seen things change, and personally, I think things are easier now than they ever have been because of these phones, right? The answer to everything is on this thing. So guys wanting to do something that can't do it, you have it way easier than we ever had it. So we just talk about those things on the podcast, and you can join for $1. You can have access to all of that content. And then we have all these videos. There's over 4,000 on the forward side of the YouTube page. And then I do a live feed every night at 9 o'clock also on this YouTube channel. So if there's something you want to know, something you want to say, something you have questions about, that's where you get us. That's how you talk to us. And this shirt, we do a new shirt typically every Monday. We put out a new shirt and we only do 120 pieces. We did more of this version this time, and we're a couple days late. It's Thursday as we're recording this. So new shirt every week. If you see it, grab it, because when they're gone, they're typically gone. It's very rare that we rerun a design. So if you work here, we give all the employees a shirt every time we run a shirt. So if you work here, you get 52 shirts every year. New shirts, new designs. All right, so there's that PAL shield. This is what it looks like from the other side. And because we stop at the edge of each PALs and don't travel, it's not puckered up really. That's what it looks like from the front side. Can we guess what this is yet? I'm sure you guys know what this is.
You accidentally told them.
Oh, did I tell them?
Twice.
Twice. I'll bet there's still one dude that doesn't know. All right, let's put these on here. lot to this build. It all looks the same.
Two pieces back to back, almost identical.
Kind of. The front's a little wider, and the front has the PALS webbing that we made, so it's camo. And then this is using a different webbing on the back here. This is the attachment part, so you're never going to see the back of this. You hear that train?
I do.
It's because we're...
You gonna derail?
No, we're having a train line put on the property so that we can just have stuff delivered by train here.
Straight through?
It'll push in and then pull out. It's called a spur, I guess is what they call it. I left my scissors. You know, I have my favorite scissors.
I know, they were dull last week.
Yeah, and I left them sitting out there on the table, not my table. And I think Amanda did it, but she was out there clipping and cleaning with the new guy. And when I got my scissors the next morning, they didn't cut at all. Something had happened to them. My suspicion is they were dropped on the ground or something. So now I've got these scissors, which are the same brand and everything, except they're not the same. They've got this hump here, and my fucking finger, they stick on my finger, so I have to pull them off of my fingers. It's ridiculous. I don't know, because most scissors are made for little girl hands. Because 90% of their market probably is women, you know.
You got big knuckles.
I don't think I do.
I don't know.
Stay there. In doing this, it pulled that one back through and ripped this thread.
Surgical precision.
I wonder if you could sew with night vision on. I think we could.
I think you could. I don't think we could.
Huh?
I don't think we could. You could.
Smells weird out here.
What?
It's those rubber mats. Did you not notice it when you walked in here?
Mm-mm.
When you get home, your woman's gonna be like, "What is that smell on you?" It's those mats, those horse stall mats for the gym floor. missing something here. For all you city guys, that is a rooster outside that you hear, because there's a farm here. And if you don't have a rooster, you should move someplace where you can have a rooster, because things are changing. Your life will be a lot better if you have a rooster.
I just keep my rooster at your house.
I have a lot of roosters here. If you want one, we'll mail you one. Just let me know. We'll send a rooster to you. Or a ghost. We'll mail you a ghost also if you want one. Alright, we need to put some grommets in this, and I need some plastic also. Come on, we'll need the grommets. What's the back of my shirt say? I haven't seen it.
Looks like it says soetacticalgear.com.
Not only Glocks?
And it has an OG at the top.
For only Glocks?
I'm thinking so. Here we are again, finger smasher.
Need a remover. We used to do all these by hand with a hammer. And this, we would just cut an X and kind of push the grommet through, and then that's how you get your fingers off. Can also do it the other way, which is actually easier. Put that post on first and then put the washer. I say it's easier. I think this works. I really don't know. Yeah, it's actually easier. Perfect.
Isn't it always perfect?
I mean, everything I do is perfect. I think I have the right parts.
No, his shoes aren't that squeaky. I'm adding those in. Those are post effects for sound.
The Solomon Speed Cross, and it's only in here. Like, I go in other buildings and they don't make as much squeak. They don't make hardly any sound. It's only this building. You notice it doesn't. You don't hear it on this floor here.
Yeah.
Man down. So these are the straps. I'm going to fold this over so the raw edge is inside. You don't see it. It's captive. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. And then you can go into your next piece or whatever, or you can just zigzag back over so that it's still connected, although I just ran out of thread. That bobbin was pretty empty when we started with it. I was sewing last night. A lot of times the last employee will leave here 5:30, 6 o'clock, and a lot of times I'll sew from 6 to 8 or so. And then the live's at 9 o'clock, so I'll sew sometimes up to 9 o'clock. Anyways, like I was saying, we'll start over here. I like to cut all this out of the way so it's just not I don't have to pick it out later. So anyways, I would go 1, 2, 3, zigzag over so I don't have to cut thread, and then 1, 2, 3, and then I've got another one here, same exact thing. So if I sew across, I don't have to cut 2 pieces of thread on each side. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. These will be the upper straps to attach it. And this will attach into our H set and hang down the back. And then on our micro rigs, the other straps will actually replace the waist strap and clip in to become a waist strap. Or, because there's pals all over the back of it, you can mount it on the side of rucksacks, or you can really mount it anywhere that you just really want it. Any place that has a field of webbing, you can attach it to it. I actually just did something on these that makes both of these different. They are not the same. If you caught what that was, it was not intentional, but if you can tell what it is, let me know. See if you saw me do it or can tell from the video. But these are different, but will still function the same. And I forgot the other buckles. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll do this first. Right, Vanilla?
Always right.
Do you know my friend Vanilla?
Vanilla
You know, Eric.
ice.
Yeah. Somewhere in the dark is a buckle. Here it is.
It's a little different on your white floor in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's super dark out here. People watch this and probably, like, some dudes will be like, man, he sews fast. And then other people will watch it and be like, man, he's really slow. This is like half speed at best out here. It's dark out here. piece of wood right there, I thought. Is that throwing your camera off? Here it is. Wouldn't you know? I used the wrong two up there. I put the big ones down on the lower, and these ones should have been. But I'll make it work. This will still work. Just have less meat to fold over here. This will just be the piece of webbing where you can hook your camelback ladder into it. Keep it from slouching down in there because all the camelbacks have that hook built into them. It hooks onto that. Now I've got some raw edges here. Single layer Cordura, so I'm just going to edge this. But you don't have to edge the whole thing. It doesn't. There's literally no need to edge tape the entire thing. You can if you want to, but I don't know why you would. I'm going to start just 5-6 inches down. I'm pushing the work in. And then when it goes single layer, especially, I'm going to ease up on it a little bit right there. Now it's into the single. And I'm going to basically put tension on the back of the edge tape and then just chug this along, and I can make the turn. Make sure that I have my work all the way up in the crease of the edge tape so that it's nice and there's no dead edge tape here. It's all material up in there. I know some of you guys, she's been telling you that it doesn't matter that you don't hit bottom. Number one, she's lying to you. She does wish that you hit bottom. And this edge tape very much wants you to hit bottom, so make sure it's all the way in. Okay, so there's that. Both sides look good. I'm going to go back and put a second line. I'm going to start here on the single line. And then when I'm right there, I'm going to come up and put my second line in there and tack that. And I'm going to use my favorite screwdriver here, which I really use for edge taping more than anything. I'm going to hold that tape down to make sure that I get that second line there. So I'm going through a layer of Cordura and 2 layers of Velcro, which makes it spongy and puffy. I want to make sure that that lays flat and doesn't pinch or get folded over in any manner. And then come right here to where that, tack that, and then come back and run that into the single stitch that it started as. Just makes it clean when we're going to turn it inside out. It also keeps it from being single stitched right there, so you can't bust that seam over. And then hit this side. Did we catch everything? No, we did not. See, right here is what I'm talking about. That little flapper right there. So the other side looks really good, but this side not quite as good. So I'm going to hold that down with that tip of that screwdriver, catch that. All of here we might as well come. Yep, missed that little piece right there. And then if you've got a micro rig, one of our micro rigs, or probably anybody else's also, it's got a waist strap. Just unplug that waist strap, and then you can use these straps to take the place, and you can shrink these up as you need to. But that'll allow you to add a hydro carrier onto any of those really small rigs, and this will secure the bottom side of it. And now you can put whatever you want in this, a hydration carrier or whatever, jacket, clothing, whatever. And then you can put chem lights or, breaching stuff, whatever you want to attach on that modular webbing there, you can attach. or you could run flex cuffs or chem lights and any number of things through there. But there we are. Hydro carrier. So if somebody wants this hydro carrier, leave a comment and tell me why it should be you that we send it to, and we'll send you this hydro carrier.